All right. Hello, guys. We are on week 2 of our Maui in 2017 calls. Yes, I recorded. Thank you for the reminder, Angie, who is not on the call, but sent me a reminder to record. Anyway, first thing I want to do is do our drawing for Kona swag. And look at this. I'm going to share the screen. Share screen. All right. Here's the folks that have been able to get to a jewel and share with the team. So can you all see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, ma'am? Did you say ma'am?
I did. That was me.
All righty. So everybody sees how honest this is. Here we go. Pick a random name. Dean, I put you in twice because you got 2 jewels. Here we go.
Overachiever.
A random name, Vicky.
Yay! Yay, Vicky!
So Vicky, we will. You can pick what swag.
I'm on.
Now let me ask this: who on the call has reached out to a jewel but did not get a response back?
Me.
You, Stephanie?
Yeah.
All right, guess what? I'm going to put you.
I did too, and I didn't get anything.
Mamie, okay, so Mamie and Stephanie, we're going to do a second drawing because that's not fair. You tried.
That's really okay.
There you go. Mamie.
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, gosh.
So,
Well, thanks. Yay, I'm excited.
so, but when you guys hear back, if you would please share, that would be fantastic, okay? Let me get in here.
Absolutely will.
Okay. So anyway, let's first go through. Everybody knows each other. Hey, Natalie.
Hey.
Let's first go. And those of you that talked to a jewel this week, what was your number one takeaway? Dean, how about we start with you?
I'm pulling up my notes here. The first person I talked to, her main thing was stay consistent. She did it, got halfway to gold, quit after 7 months, took a year off, but it was all about, for her, personal growth. That was her big thing. And then when she came back, and the quote that she really needed for me was, if you work hard at your job, you can earn a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can earn a fortune.
You have to look under the old one. She posted the thing.
Hey.
Click on the last one.
Hey guys, well, I'm going to mute everybody, okay? Because I'm hearing a lot. Not that I don't like to hear, but we.
Would you rather have me have Woody?
Okay. Okay, Dean, unmute yourself, Dean, and then let us keep going.
All right. Did you hear my first stuff?
Yes.
All right. And then my second person that I reached out to was Tim Thomas. He's the no mouse boy, ambassador. His big thing he talked about was balance. He truly felt like he never had any failures, because at first he's like, you don't know what you don't know, so you really can't make mistakes. And as long as you're continuously learning from the information that you're continuously gaining, then you just change your style as you continuously go. And his big thing was, to promote to any next level, you have to set a goal and you have to set a timeline and you have to track your activity in the smallest detail and continuously be consistent. So his big thing for me was consistency on both people of sticking to it and doing all your IPAs and making sure that you continuously are doing the little things to continually grow your business.
Cool. Good. How about Natalie? Do you want to share what you got?
I talked to Joe Wernes, and one of the things, let me hang that up. Sorry, my sister was having trouble finding the links, so that's why I was hoping, but now it's echoing. was two things that she talked about. That not to worry about what people think about you, which we know we've talked about before, that you're doing a disservice. So many people could benefit from this business too, and that you just have to be bold, and that she wished she would have been bold sooner at the beginning. That sometimes, because I thought she might, I don't know if she's a yellow too like me, but being so nice because you're trying to nurture and help your team, but sometimes they need a little tough love. And she's like a kid. Sometimes they respond to that too. And that I think, especially if you have people that might be complaining that they're not growing or the business isn't going anywhere, but yet they're not doing the IPAs and doing the activity, that you've got to be able to speak up and tell them that, because they're not going to grow and learn if you don't help them, with their concerns.
Great. I met her down in Kona. She and her husband are a class act.
Yeah, I followed her before, and so she got right back to me right away, same day.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. Anybody else want to share theirs? Oli or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I was just unmuting. I reached out to several people and sent them IMs and sat on my computer to wait to find out if they were active and they would respond. And 2 didn't. But 1 finally did. And I think, there's a reason for everything, because when she responded, I spoke with Jody Sort. I don't know if you know her, Kim. And she's an Emerald and just went to Hawaii this year. And it was so wonderful to talk to her. It took her 2.5 years to get to Emerald. And just so giving. I think we just spent more time, getting to know each other in the first couple minutes this morning, and then talking to her about her challenges and some great things. And the one that I really just loved, and I just had to think about it, was, on the white lines, because I said, I feel like I'm rebuilding my business. I have a lot of white lines. I'm hearing that that's normal. And she's like, some people just drop the white lines. She goes, but I don't know if they're quite dead yet. And so my take is I will follow up with them at some point and say, hey, I don't know if there was something that maybe I didn't give you. I know so much more now. I would love to help you if you want to try it again. And I'm not ready to do that with my white lines, because I've kind of, tried to do that already. But I thought that was a neat thought, that she just never gives up on anybody quite yet. And when I asked her what she would do differently, starting the business over, she goes, I was so intent on learning all the products and making sure that I had information for everyone to know what they needed to know to take the product. She goes, I would stop that, and I would lead with the opportunity all the time, all day long. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Let's talk about that and talk through that. And, her thing was, just asking them, do you like what you do? And she goes, because you need to do what I'm doing. And she goes, that's all I say. She goes, I signed up a person on the plane the other day. I was at convention and signed someone up at the elevator. I was like, holy cow, this is fantastic. But something to keep in mind, it's not anything that you guys haven't said, but it's always a different perspective and hearing it from someone else. But here's the best thing I had, and I wanted to talk to you about this. They do Zoom call opportunity meetings and has had great success. It was her, Haley Neville, and Wendy, and I can't remember who else it was. And they opened up, so I don't really know how the Zoom call situation works, but they opened it up for 100 slots, and they had great success. She said, the only thing I will tell you is you keep it to 30 minutes or less. She goes, at that point, you're going to lose people's attention. She goes, and we stuck to it. And she goes, we're thinking about doing this monthly. I was like, I would just love that. So she sent me the link.
Good. Okay.
On that. And she was like, where are you? And I said, well, we're having an opportunity meeting, which I'll follow up with you guys offline on another time about you guys coming up for the meeting. And she's like, I've got someone out there that just doesn't do anything. And I'm like, well, would she like to come to the meeting? Lo and behold, she lives in McHenry County, which is right around here. And when she reached out to this gal and said, hey, if I can connect you with some people, what would you think about this? And I guess this girl responded with overwhelming enthusiasm. And so Jody was like, Karen, thank you, because I believe everyone has a reason, but I think you're helping me and I'll help you. So I thought I was like, well, that's pretty cool.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. I love that. That's a great story. Good interaction. What I those of you that had success, and even those of you that maybe have not had a chance to talk to another jewel, even though it's not the challenge this week, I really encourage you to just follow through and periodically just do it, because there's so much tidbit that they can give you, and you never know the connection that can be formed. This week I'm meeting with the sideline, who is very red, because she's got a lot of processes, and I want to learn from her. And that's what this company is all about, is helping each other. So don't be afraid to reach out, or if you see somebody that you really like their posts, just stick your neck out, because you guys that talked really got some good information, and I just encourage you guys to keep on doing that on a regular basis, because then you're going to know more people when we go to Maui, and B, it just builds your network that much more. So good job, you guys. Vicki and Mamie, go look at the picture that I posted of all the goodies and pick what you want. Let me know. If you pick the same thing, I'll have you guys arm wrestle online, and then we'll see who wins, okay? So second of all, let's talk about the challenge that we looked at in terms of boundaries last week. We talked about maybe looking at three boundaries that maybe we could improve upon in our lives, whether people, places, or promises, and was wondering what you all think about that, what you've kind of come up with. And unmute and tell me what you think. Bueller? Bueller, Vicki? Unmute.
Unmute. There I am. I am working really hard at getting the Facebook back in check. That has absolutely, as we all know, it's hard. It's a double-edged sword, because I feel like it's so much a part of our business, and I want to support, and I want to be there, and I want to be there for my non-plexus folks as well as for my plexus folks. But honestly, I find it just sucks the life out of me. And really putting that phone away and doing a quick check in the morning, and then trying to get to work. And really, because I was busy from Thursday to Sunday, I feel like I'm just now really starting to implement things coming home on Monday. So I had yesterday and today to really just start dialing in, and I feel more productive. I truly, truly do, because I'm getting that part in check. And all of us, my entire family, is getting electronics back in check. So it's not just mama. So anyways.
You're welcome, nieces and nephews.
Oh, they love you. I saw today on the morning news, just quick tidbit, Audrey's going to roll her eyes. Kids these days have 7 hours of screen time.
Wow.
A day?
Crazy. Yes.
A day?
Screwing around screen time. Yeah. So I'm cutting that off at the knees. I feel like mine are pretty, anyways, but so it's an epidemic. So I'm working hard at trying to make that shift.
Good. Anybody else want to share?
I agree with Vicki. I tried to do the same thing and not scroll and try to monitor and comment on people's posts and put the phone away. And it was a good time to do it, since I've been on the phone with customer service and talking to my downline, who was having lots of issues, as Kim knows, this week. So it helped, because I bet I spent 3 hours yesterday just messaging people and taking care of business and putting the phone away and staying off Facebook.
Good.
Saying, okay, I don't need to comment on everyone's posts. And I saw Vicki talk about that, and I thought I need to do the same thing, because I don't have enough hours in the day. So.
And that's not income producing. That's just idle time. And it sucks. Anybody else?
Me, I feel really guilty about Facebook, because I feel guilty that I don't comment on people's posts enough, like support other team members and stuff. And especially in my downline. So I have been working on, I already created like non-plexus friends groups. So I separated out like non-plexus and plexus friends. But now I feel like my entire newsfeed is plexus. And I feel bad if I don't comment and like and try to, especially people that, so what I'm trying to do is do a Plexus team group only. So that way, you know, I can spend like 15 minutes or something going through and be able to find those posts immediately. And also know who's, sometimes I don't know who is who anymore, you know, and so I think that might save me some time on Facebook and kind of make me not feel, I have to go through all those other feeds to be supportive of people.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
And note I found, and I did it accidentally, and I've done it, now I'm trying to do it more intentionally, is you can star, like Cindy, if there are certain team members, you know, or people that are just starting out, there's somewhere, I think if you go into the notifications where you can star them and they'll show up first on your feed.
Okay.
You know, so that might be an idea in the beginning, especially when you know they're just getting started out, because that's the same thing. My Facebook, I finally have switched gears and recognized that Facebook is now business, because I don't know all these kids that are showing up on my Facebook feed.
With babies.
You know, there are babies everywhere. And, you know, so if there may be people that are just getting started or having a bumpy road or whatever, maybe if you star them, you know they'll show up. Every time you sign on, they pop up very first, you know, of your feed. And then you can maybe nurture them a little bit more as they're starting out in the beginning.
That's a good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share?
I will.
Hey, Sophie.
My office is basically in our kitchen, at the kitchen table. And so all of my things are spread out on the round kitchen table. And I have decided that I really need to get it upstairs onto a desk somewhere so that I have a definite workspace and it's not interrupted by other stuff going on. We have a very awkwardly laid out house, so I just kind of ended up in the kitchen, but it's not a dedicated desk or anything there. So I'm going to actually create a business space for myself so that I feel like I'm actually on task and not getting up to, you know, get a cup of water or figure out what we're going for dinner or get distracted with whatever's going on up there.
Perfect.
And also with the Facebook thing, focusing more on just using it for my business and then jumping out and not scrolling and trolling and trying to find new potential customers.
Oh my God.
Couching that in, you know, oh, I'm working because I'm looking.
Great. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, with that being said, let me give you all the challenge for next week before we roll into our R's. And it kind of parlays with what some of you have experienced in talking to the Jewels. The challenge is to pass out 1 to 2 cards a day to strangers, or get them as friends on Facebook. So if you meet somebody, you know, in the store, ask them on Facebook. But to have a total of 10 new contacts this week. Now, why I say that and why this is so important is, you know, we've all kind of gathered up our low-hanging fruit. And so we've got to branch out. But diamonds say over and over again that some of their best jewels are people they never knew. They met as you know, the waitress in the restaurant. It was the safety patrol mother, you know, letting the kids cross the street. And so that has been seen. I mean, Tamara has like 4 or 5 that are in the sapphire category right now that she never knew. They were not friends of hers. They were not in her network. It was people she bumped into. And so the challenge this week, a total of 10. So whether it's 10 one day or you spread them out, and I'll make a post like I did with the chat, the jewels. So when you get yours in there, you can put, I got two. And for everybody that hits on a day, I'll add an entry for the next drawing. Does that make sense? Because here's, you know, and I'll tell you strategically, now that my low-hanging fruit has been picked, I'm strategically now looking for those people that I know are going to continue to move me through. You know, organically, yes, you'll grow, but to really skyrocket, to really get you to emerald, you have to be strategic and finding those right people. So hopefully this exercise, if you've got somebody at the Kroger or whatever the grocery store is that you always check through and chat with, you know, go for it. Again, what you have to lose. Absolutely zero. ATB them. But either ask them, get them on your Facebook, which, you know, I know passing cards was the thing of the past. Well, the thing that we used to do. Now so much is electronic. So whip your phone out and see if they're on Facebook. See if you can add them so they can, of course, start seeing your stuff.
Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
So just handing out cards, or we're supposed to hand out a card and get their personal information as well?
See if you can get it all. I mean, if they're on, what I would do is ask them if they're on Facebook, because then they're going to start seeing your stuff.
Okay.
But if they're not on Facebook, say, hey, you know, this is what I do. You know, I think you have this great personality. I'm always attracted to you. Or if you're meeting somebody in an elevator, you know, your elevator speech, and give them a card.
Okay.
But I think the whole Facebook thing, whipping out the phone, and maybe do the, oh, I don't have any cards with me. Can I just add you on Facebook? Because we always have our phones in our hand. Yeah, Betty? Betty. Unmute, Betty. Unmute, Betty. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
Okay. Whoops. All right. So, Kim, I remember I told you I went to Buckles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a day that I signed someone up, and I always have samples in my purse. Of course, my samples weren't with me, and I just walked in. She was so darling, the sales lady. So I said, here, let me get you, you know, on Facebook. You're on Facebook. Phone just died. Never has happened. So she got her phone. She friend requested me. We are meeting tomorrow night. She's been liking all of my posts. I'm so hopeful. Bubbly personality in her young 20s. So, yes, it happened from just going shopping. Yeah, it happens. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right, Betty, you can count that person. All right, so is everybody clear on that challenge? Yeah? Okay. We've got 5 minutes. We're going to go over our R. Brad was boundary, or B was boundaries. R is routines and rituals. What the importance of having routines and rituals is we are taking control of our day and taking control of the destiny of what the day is going to present, as opposed to just being reactive all day. So what that means for us in this business is stop making decisions you don't have to keep making. Here's an example, and this is something that I put into place last week, is what's for dinner? What do you want for dinner? Think of all the time it takes out of your day, which you need to keep tight and concise, trying to make a decision that maybe if you sit at the beginning of the week and say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're doing this for dinner. And then you don't have to make that decision again. And so being real intentional about making one decision and then not having to refocus daily. The gal that gave this discussion talked about how every day she wears the same kind of outfit for work, and she works at home, obviously. And she said, I wear, you know, a pullover, big shirt, leggings, and she said, and I just go in my closet and I don't have to stare. And she said, and then if I have to go out, I can throw a jacket on or a vest. I don't have to think about it. But she said, I absolutely wake up every morning and go through a ritual. She said, I wake up, I pour my coffee, I do my Bible study, I sit in the same place every day. She said, I'm up before my kids are, so I'm not, you know, running around scrambling. She said, I'm always dressed in a way that if, you know, she said, Alec or Tarl came to the door, I could open it. And I will say I'm guilty there, because there are times I'll just kind of roll out and throw on shorts and, you know, haven't showered or anything. So she said, you're presenting to your office. So if you have that ritual of you're going to do A, B, C, and D before you get to your office, then you don't have to go back and try to redo things because other things are presenting during the day. So she said, make a routine so when you get to your desk, you can start the ball running. And what she really, and I really like this, what she suggested is every day we have a sign-off routine. And so what that could mean is basically you're closing your office for the day. So make a list of what you want to do tomorrow. maybe clear all your emails and messages. But basically, you're shutting down so you don't have all this miscellaneous stuff still floating. So when you're coming back in the morning, you're already behind the gun. So she said a sign-off, routine is really, really important in terms of rituals and routines. She also said that these rituals and routines, these R's, need to be personal, bearable, memorable, replicatable, and absolutely non-negotiable. So personal, meaning, what are you going to do for yourself so you feel good starting the day? Bearable, meaning you can't hate what you're doing. So, don't set your routine or your ritual so you're dreading it, because then you're going to go nowhere and you're not going to do it. Then she talked about memorable. Now, memorable is, and she brought up, and I remember doing this with my kids when they were younger. She said, we only grasp like 3 things in a row to remember. And she said, so don't make this ritual that you're doing 17 steps because you'll never complete it. So she said it should be like 3 steps at the most that you need to do. Replicatable, again, because we want to have this routine day in and day out. So make it so it's easy to follow. And then the non-negotiable, that is going back to the power hour. And she said, if you have this goal, you cannot waver on it. You have to be absolutely steadfast in your routine. And so that's the non-negotiable. This is what I do. This is what I do daily. This is my routine. When I step into my office, like Stephanie, your deliberate office, this is what's going to happen. It's non-negotiable. She did talk a lot about the power hour, which we spoke about last week. And she said, during that power hour, there should be no incoming anything. So a lot of you worked real hard this week about, the phones and not taking distractions, but there should be no outside interference. The number one focus is what's most important, and that is growing your business. So whether that's number one, your leads, focusing on your leaders that are goal-related activities, but everything needs to be forward-moving. So that's why, the clearing emails and whatnot, that's not forward-moving. That's clearing the dust. And that's a good, end of day, close up shop routine. But that hour, that focused hour, needs to be forward-moving, goal-oriented, and first and foremost, your leads. Because the rest of the day, you can handle everything else. So with that being said, she said, do not negotiate wanna. I want to be Emerald. Get wanna, and I wish that I would completely out. That is non-negotiable with this group. It is, you are going to do this, you're going to get there, and you're going to be able to stay focused. So this week, your challenge is to establish 2 routines to work on. And then again, continue to firm up your boundaries. But R is the routines. So rituals or routines to tweak and get better on. And bam, look what time it is. 30 minutes. All right, any questions?
How did you pick your jewels since I missed last week? Did you just randomly pick somebody and message them?
Yes, that's what people did. Yeah, so people you're following, or as I said, go on to the, the weekly leaders message that comes out. And if you all want to stay on, I can give you, let me read you real quick what I just got from corporate about what's going on behind the scenes and things they're doing. Does everybody have a second to hear? Yeah. Okay, I'll just read it. what the company is doing to help with the current credit card issues. We will still be running any declined backup orders this month as normal. We are also using an improved address verification filter system for those automated orders and expect more of now these orders to process. We are working very closely with our payment processor to ease ordering for verified accounts. We will have more on that information tomorrow. And then they are doubling the number of staff available to work on entered orders to help reduce the delays. And then it says, what can you and your teams do? It says, many people are finding that they can get their Visa credit cards to process by contacting the credit card company's internal address system to verify, update the addresses associated with the credit card. If you are a Visa card owner, we recommend you contact their credit card service and validate the address if you have not already done so. So what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of this and put it on the thread so you guys can see, and it's a Visa merchant verification system that they gave us that information for. So they are working hard. They know that this is a priority, and if some of you have already gotten me a list of things, people that have hung up on the enter status, if you can get anybody else by tonight, I'll send it to the liaison. I'm going to be stepping away all day tomorrow, so I can't address anything tomorrow. But I'll send this to you, and hopefully, again, maybe even you can troubleshoot with people if they're having trouble still. But hopefully, we'll see more things rolling. Any questions? Anything else?
Oh, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Last time I called customer service, they would not help me with my ambassador because they said they were an ambassador and they're their own business, so they were not going to, that ambassador had to call themselves.
Yeah, I got that too.
Well, that's supposed to be the scenario. If you are having trouble, if it's, they can never do anything financially without the ambassador. So if it was a financial issue, then they would need to three-way that ambassador in.
Okay.
But if it's a matter of a stock or something, send it to me with the ambassador name, ID, and the order number.
Okay.
Those are the three things I'll need.
Okay. This was more something where somebody thought they'd been charged, and it was somebody who signed up and then asked the doctor about it, and they, like, the minute they got their order, said, I'm not going to do it. Like, they never tried Plexus and quit. And then they thought they got charged something. But anyway, as it turned out, they weren't wrongly charged. But maybe that's why, because it was something with their credit card, that they're like, I can't help you. And then I had my other person who signed up accidentally into the wrong person, and they couldn't tell me anything about it. And I was like, wow, this is a different feel, because I hadn't had to call customer service in a while. So,
well, I know definitely if it's a financial or you're doing anything with their credit card, they have to have that person on.
Okay. All right.
The one I was messaging you about was somebody who, when people upgrade, like, she was a retail customer with someone who dropped off